At the halfway point of the season, the Stags sit 5 points behind where they did at this time in the last campaign. However, if they were to mirror what they did in the first half of this season in the second half, then they finished 10 points ahead of what they finished on last season. The big question is, Craig Maths aside, is 64 points going to be enough to keep Stags in Sky Bet League One for a third consecutive season? Nigel Clough's men have had a decent rest after last Sunday's game at Rotherham was called off. Now with an FA Cup trip to Sheffield United on the cards this Sunday, and at the time of recording, 2 new faces through the door, are the Stags ready to kick off the second half of the season the way they finished the first half of the season, winning? Will the new faces be enough to see the Stags through? And can Nigel Clough's men learn from what they did last season, which is at FA Cup Round 3 stage, not crumble? We'll discuss all of that and much, much more in between as we present our half-term report on tonight's Mansfield Matters podcast. The show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because Mansfield always matters. Come and join us in the live feed comments. Hello, and it feels weird to be saying this on the 8th day of the year. Happy New Year to you all. Welcome back to the Mansfield Matters podcast, the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Well, because Mansfield always matters. It may well have been a boring weekend last weekend because there was no game for us to get our teeth stuck into, with the Rotherham game being postponed. But we've still got the action against Bradford City to look back on, and 2 brand new additions to talk about who have landed at One Call Stadium today. And if that wasn't enough, we can also look ahead to the FA Cup trip to Sheffield United, snow being well on Sunday at 2:30, and of course look ahead to the second half of the season. Now, as we're at the halfway point, I thought it only fair to try and get as many different opinions as humanly possible tonight. So not only do we want and welcome your comments and views and opinions in the live feed comments, I've also delved into the transfer market and looked at my own squad, got some people out of the injury room and gone, do you know what? Let's get as many people as humanly possible on the show tonight. So let's go through them all and introduce them one by one. First and foremost, let's say hello, good evening, and welcome to the man who has got more shirts than Primark's warehouse pre and post Christmas. It's Nick of Mansfield Town Shirts fame.
Hello, Craig. Hello, everyone.
Let's say hello, good evening, and welcome to the man who literally seconds before the end of that opening jingle finished was so far back in his chair, necking the last dregs of his cup of tea, I thought that he was going to fall over and it was going to be the most comical moment of 2026 and everybody was going to miss it. It's everybody's favourite announcer. It's Mr. Alan Wilson. Evening, Al.
Good evening, Craig. Good evening, everybody.
And let's say hello, good evening, and welcome to a man who you see every couple of weeks on the show, a man who sits over my shoulder, sometimes bemoaning the way that we play, but otherwise bringing cheer, delight, and everything else to the Mansfield Matters podcast. That is Jim. Good evening, Jim.
Evening, Craig. Evening, everybody. Hope everybody's well.
And let's also say hello, good evening, and welcome to a man who literally seconds ago pressed enter to get his way into the studio. It is Mr. Clive Parkin. Evening, Mr. Cleve. We'll come back to him in a minute. I think his internet's still loading. Hello, Mr. Cleve. We'll come back to him in a minute. Let's say hello, good evening, and welcome to a man who I think I've given enough time to make a cup of tea to now, because he's now sat back down at his chair. Good evening, Mr. Edge.
Evening, Craig. Evening, everyone.
Shall we try? Shall we try this again? Shall we try it again?
What happened?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Clive joined the stream literally seconds before I said hello, good evening to him. Went across to him and he was still buffering. So let's try it again, shall we? Hello, Mr. Cleve.
Hello, Mr. Craig.
Hey, there we go. And let's complete the Fantastic Seven, shall we, by saying hello, good evening, and welcome to Cam. Oh, no, that's right. He couldn't be bothered to join us, could he? Because he's got a little calf. So let's be honest. We've got the best six. We've got the best six, haven't we? This is it. We've got the best of the lot. So, yes, come and join us and have your say on your team. Right. I feel like I need like a little bucket tonight with names in that I can pick out and go to first on the show. Who shall I say? Who should we go to first? Let's talk all about what we did on Sunday to get through the boredom. Mr. Cleve, what did you do on Sunday to get through the boredom?
Well, we've got a puppy, and he tends to consume every bit of energy you've got spare. So apart from cooking a dinner and looking after the dog, and I pandered to my old age and had a bit of a nap.
I think that's a wise choice. Nick, what did you get up to over the weekend with no football on?
Well, it's approximately 4.5 years since I last had a nap on a Sunday. I can't quite work out why, but yes, I was entertaining her.
Excellent. And Nap is. Does your wife know about this mysterious woman called Nap?
No, I don't think she does. No.
What a way to find out, Jim.
I think I was just watching the football on telly. I think, yeah, pretty much that was it. Miserable, isn't it? When games are called off, it's a bit frustrating.
Mr. Wilson,
Chilling out and relaxing with the wife.
Now, did anyone else on the panel there think that he was going to start breaking into the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap?
He started. He did the first line.
Chilling out.
I would assume he wasn't shooting b-ball outside the school, but I wasn't quite sure. He might have been.
Well, you see, what happened was there were a couple of guys who were up to no good.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with that neighbourhood, isn't it?
It is. Nathan, did you get in one little fight and your mum got scared?
Yeah, I don't know the rest of the words. I can't join in, I'm afraid.
Oh dear.
I'm more of a Friends fan. All I can say is I'll be there for you.
Oh God. I think someone's just nominated him for the end gag of the show, haven't they? You know,
rubbish.
Absolutely rubbish. In all seriousness, though, Clive, having no game on a Sunday, I listened to what Nigel Clough had to say early today, and he was sort of in two minds. And to be honest, I was a little bit. With the momentum that we had going into it, having beaten Bradford on New Year's Day, you'd have fancied their chances going to struggling Rotherham. But that said, the need for a rest was evident in the last three games.
Yeah, I've got mixed opinions about the whole thing. Yes, I thought we had the momentum, and they were there to be taken. But at the same time, it would have been a horrible pitch if it had been played. There'd been more chances for injury. We've got players who are struggling to become match fit anyway, and we're having to play them. I just think an extra week off, especially during the week when we start recruiting people as well, was well timed. And whilst I don't like not having a match to watch, actually Sundays aren't such a big problem to me. It's the Saturdays when you haven't got a game on Saturday. I don't know what to do on a blank Saturday. So I went to watch my grandson play, but there you go.
Oh, happy days then, happy days. Speaking of happy days, let's talk about Bradford, Alan, because you were kept very busy. Not one, not two, but 3 goals for you to cheer about.
I know it was a truly well performed performance. I thought, they did really well. Oatsy was on fire, and it's nice to see him come back to somewhat of his best. And I just thought everybody put the 10 pence in. It was a really good performance, and the well worth the 3-0 scoreline. It could have been more.
Speaking of putting 10 pence, and I think somebody put 10p in Jim as well. So I looked round at the third goal, and he had his top off whipping it round his head.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? I was actually surprised. I thought Bradford were going to be better than they were, but we'll take it. We'll take it all day long. Liam Roberts made an important save at 0-0 as well. I think the narrative could have been different if that went in, but yeah, brilliant. Back to our best performance, I think, of the season. I would say. I don't think we played much better than that this season, and that's why I was a bit frustrated on Sunday. I'd have liked to play the game and make hay while the sun's shining. Probably not the best time of year to say that, but it is what it is.
I think one positive, Nathan, was the fact that, we went into it with a little bit of momentum, having won the 2 games over the Christmas period. And then it just seemed to click, didn't it? Reece Oates looked like prime Reece Oates again. We were playing some good football. And I thought at times, even though it was a little bit sort of hit and miss, when we went forward, we looked dangerous again. And it almost felt like this team's onto something here. This could be a nice afternoon for us.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, I was very surprised to come away with the win like we did. Jim said that I'd expected more from Bradford. They seem to have dropped off a little bit, which was good for us. And I think it's just interesting. We've obviously had these 3 games over the Christmas and New Year period, which, when you looked at it on paper, the teams we were playing against, it was worrying to look at with the form we were going into. But it sometimes works, doesn't it, for us? It has in the past, where when we've got so many injuries, sometimes it galvanizes the team to come together. And thank you. And we do put in that sort of, not necessarily individual, but I know we have had a few individual performances like Oates and Roberts, for example, but more importantly, the team have come together, which I think is sometimes you have to do when you're low on numbers. And I think Clough is good at getting that out of the players when it's needed.
I think you could see that as well, the hunger and desire, Nick, to get us through this period. I know we've spent a lot of time together over Christmas going to, the likes of Barnsley and Bolton, and obviously those games we sort of dug deep, and that transferred itself, didn't it, into that home game, and you saw that hunger and desire from every single player to get through. And again, Reece Oates just looks to be having the time of his life at the minute. I think he's more than repaid his silly suspension, and I think he's got his sights firmly set up now on getting the golden boot and repaying Clough and the fans for the faithful over the last few years.
Yeah, I don't think I've quite recovered from Bolton yet. It was just an unbelievable result. I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't get to Bradford because on New Year's Day we always go with the in-laws out somewhere. So I didn't make Bradford, but it's probably why we won, to be fair. But I think the belief that they got from that Barnsley turnaround, I think, was very visible in that second half. We were a completely different team than we had been, albeit we hadn't played that badly in a few defeats. We just need to get confidence, and then the Bolton one was incredible, really, showing how backs against the wall, how we could play, and then Oates got his goal, and then the confidence from that. And like you say, he was a man possessed from seeing the highlights that I've seen. He was like a man possessed, and I think there were definitely questions about his ability in League One because he hadn't played in League One before, and he's shown he's more than capable. And his attributes, which are pace and getting in behind, I think scares anyone at any level. And I was certainly one who thought at the start of the season that he was a waste of a contract. I don't mind saying that. I definitely thought that because I thought, well, he's not going to play. And then he kind of proved me right for a bit because he got injured again. But he's come back unbelievably fit. And the fact that Clough mentions him every time he's not playing, he always references, oh, well, yeah, if we had Oates, it'd be better. And we always sometimes think, well, guy, will he stop harping on about Oates? And obviously he sees him every day and sees his worth, and I think, like you say, he's more than repaid for the, for the red card and probably for missing so much time over the last few years.
And of course, Clive, this week it's been announced that he's signed a new contract as well, and that he's delighted to stay with the club. It's always feels like a little bit of a risk with Reece Oates because even though at the moment he is playing his best football, I think that he's played for many a season for us, he's probably back to prime Reece Oates. It is a gamble with him, but that said, I feel like it's a gamble worth taking because he's got a manager who believes in him. He's got a fan base who absolutely back him as well, and you can just see the pace and power he's got. I think, to be honest, if he hadn't had that little bit of an injury thing, he'd probably be playing a higher level.
Yeah, I mean, the club deserves every bit of loyalty from Reece that's there because they've supported him during a really horrible time when other clubs may not have done that. So he's really, it's a bond now that's pretty much unbreakable. There's nobody quite like him for pace. He doesn't always put it to the best use, but that's because often players with pace are a little bit raw when it comes to gameplay. But I tell you what, he's made a difference since he's been back. And even without him during the Christmas period, we've put 3 games together, 3 wins, 7 goals for, 2 against. I think we're on a roll. And to go back to Jim's point, it's a shame we didn't play on Sunday, but with the counter argument, it still bears fruit. And I just think that every game that Reece doesn't get himself injured on the pitch, he comes back stronger the following game.
Yeah, he certainly does, and I think he's a player who really does excite the fans, Alan. And I'm really pleased to see him, come into his own a little bit more. We're going to talk about the new additions later on, though, and how they might bolster him and give him that little bit of an additional boost as well. But what I want to come on to, Alan, is actually, the halfway point in the season is now. Is the halftime whistle. We've played 23 games of the 46-game season. We are 5 points behind where we were at this time last season. We were sat in 9th on 37 points, currently sat in 11th on 32 points this year. However, the league is so ridiculously tight. Would our target of last season's points tally of 54 be enough, though? Or do you feel that we need to get a little bit more and maybe try and at least mirror what we've done in the first half of this season, which will give us a total of 64 points at the end of the season?
I think 54 will be more than enough, to be perfectly honest. I think we'll be fine. I said 50 at the start of the season. And like you alluded to, with the league being quite tight, it could take a few more. The bottom clubs might just keep creeping up, as it were, for the points wise. But I think 54 will be fine. And I think we're in a better place. I know we're 2 places lower. This might sound a bit daft, but we're in a better place mentally and physically to go forward this year. They've proved that with the last 3 games, whereas last year, once we'd finished over the Christmas period, we had that really bad spell, didn't we, where we didn't win a thing. Well, I don't feel as though that's going to happen this year. We'll have us ups and downs like we normally do, but I think it'll be a more profitable season in the second half than it was last year.
That's got to be on Nigel Clough's radar, Jim, hasn't it? The fact that last season after the FA Cup, we almost like we were hit with an incurable curse because we couldn't seem to win for love nor money. We went on a dreadful run, and to be honest, in the Wigan game, we weren't actually that bad in the FA Cup, but something just hit, and that's got to be on Clough's radar to make sure that we don't have the same slump, because the same slump this season, I think, puts us in real danger given how tight that league table looks.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw his interview this afternoon. He said, hasn't he? He's alluded to they're very aware to this time last year is where it started going wrong. So I think they're well aware of that, and I think that shows with our early business, and I'm sure there'll be more. But I agree with Alan. I think you look at the squad this time around; it's much better equipped. It's got better players, better depth. All our players have got another year's experience under the belt at the level. And I don't see that happening this time. It was a horrendous run after Christmas, and I don't see that this time. And I think we'll be okay. And it's nice to see that the club aren't just using the rhetoric of, oh, it's all right, the injured players are coming back. I think some coffee has been smelt within the building. And I think they're determined not to let it happen again. And I think we'll be fine.
Do you think we've learned a few lessons, Nathan, from last year? Because obviously in the transfer window last year as well, without talking about the 2 individuals in detail that we've signed today, we did sort of leave it quite late, didn't we? Clough went on that thing of we don't need anyone, we'll be all right. And then all of a sudden spat his dummy out after I think it was the Shrewsbury game, and he went, we need legs. I don't care who they are, we just need legs. Do you think we've learnt lessons this time around?
I think so. Like it's just been mentioned there, obviously it's on the radar of what happened last year, and obviously we need to avoid that. We've already brought in two fresh faces, which I think was needed with the injury crisis that we have been in. The good news is I think a few of them are due to coming back soon. I hope we're able to keep Alden McDonald out. There's, for me, that's the only concern of this transfer window, whether he can be recalled, etc. But no, I think I'm in agreement with Jim and Alan. I think we are slightly stronger than we were last season, before we even delved into the loan market. But I think now we have, and whether we see any more movement as well before the end of the transfer window is only going to help us. And surely, and we can't afford to go on a bad run like we did last time. So like we said, it's coupled with it being so tight, a couple of defeats and you're back in it. So we need to keep up this momentum and just keep ticking up some points, and hopefully the extra legs will help us do that.
Nick, what about you? Are you looking at the league table thinking it's a lot tighter than what it was last year? And like Nathan said, one bad result can plummet you right back down there. Or do you think we're hitting momentum at the right time?
I think we're definitely hitting momentum at the right time, and I can't see that run last year was a once in a lifetime run. I've never seen anything like that, so I can't see that happening again. But yeah, I think we're in a better place. I think also the fact that the league's tighter, although it doesn't help you out in terms of you get sucked in easier, it also means that there's more teams that are also involved. Whereas last season, I think we got in a point where there was the bottom four, there was us and maybe Burton, and that was it. Everyone else had kind of swam away. Whereas this year, there's a lot of teams who can get a couple of bad runs and they could get really sucked in. So I don't see us getting relegated. I think there was a few points this season where we all felt a little bit worried and concerned that we were sort of dropping, but we've certainly seen enough. I mean, if anyone was at that Bolton game, you could see that if we can replicate that in any other game, if you can pull that off, then we'll be fine. I think we've all seen that, and it's just some of the we need to play like that against some of the teams where maybe it's not as glamorous game as Bolton away, and there's been a few games where we've just maybe not turned up, but a couple of new additions, some injuries, players coming back. He seems to have changed the system, and albeit we don't really like five at the back, it seems to be bearing fruit. And like one of the comments said, Ryan Sweeney's been pretty incredible the last few games as well. So I certainly don't see us worsening last year's tally, and I think, like Alan said, probably something around where we ended up last year would be enough. But like you said, I think, was it 61, Craig? You said if we replicate the same, or 64, whatever it was.
64, yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like we've had the greatest half of the season. As in, it's okay. It's been okay. We've been decent. We've had spells, but replicating that to me doesn't seem too difficult. Now, quote me on that when we get relegated, but it doesn't seem that difficult to replicate what we've done. And 60 odd points would be a triumph. I think that would be fantastic for us. To more points than last year is a success for me.
I think to pick up on that point from Nick there, Clive, one thing I would say more about this season is it's evened itself out a lot more than what last season did. You could pretty much take an axe to last season, split it in half. You had the first half of the season, which was fantastic, a phenomenal run, almost like Bradford. We had that promotion momentum, didn't we? And we went on such a great run. And then we just couldn't win or draw for Toffee, it seemed, after, late January. This time round, it's been very ups and downs. We fluctuated at times. And then after that Northampton game, it seemed to struggle. And then over Christmas, it's picked up again. It's averaged itself out a lot more this year.
Yeah, you don't want two completely different halves. I mean, last season, we were all buoyant in the first half, expecting us to get into playoffs, etc. And then we came crashing down for much of the rest of the season. It just made it so much more difficult as a supporter to stay engaged. And some supporters don't need much of an excuse to get on the back of the players and the management. So I think this time round, it's a bit more measured. I also think we're in a slightly false position. I think we should be higher up the table. We've had very little rub of the green during the last, before these 3 wins. If you take the 4 games prior to that, we should have had something out of most of those games, really. And a lot of the reasons we didn't were outside our control. But that's football.
Yeah, it certainly is, Alan. And I think one thing you can say about the team this year is, as much as we look at it and we think maybe we are reliant on 1 or 2 players, I do feel like actually at times maybe we're not. Maybe when we get it right, when we get the lineup right, it tends to work out better for us.
I think that's right, Craig, as well. I mean, the times that did he miss 3 games, McDonnell? Was it something like 2 or 3?
Yeah,
but you couldn't really, people jumped in, and Reed's come up again. Reed's playing out of his skin again. Like we said on the comments, Sweeney's played well, where it didn't look like he were going to be anything like at the start of the season. Like Nick said, we've got 5 at the bank. I don't personally like 5 at the back, but I'm not a manager. It seems to be working. Even little Nobby Welsh is doing a lot better than he was. So, there's players coming up, isn't there, all the time. Aaron Lewis had a bit of a spell where, like 1 game, I think you're a bit poor, but he's come good again. And I just think it bodes well because it fires on everybody else then, like Oatsy. If he can see that we're not if we are defending well and we're pushing it through the middle, it's only, fair play to him that he can carry on and score the goals. We're not keeping on Roberts all the time at the defence. So I just think the system that he's got, like when he did play 4 at the back last year, this year 5 at the back seems to be working with the players that he's had to work with.
Yeah, I'll come on to that in just a second. Just an update. If you're watching the video version of this, you will have noticed that we are now a member light than what we were. Nathan has unfortunately had to leave us for the rest of the night. He's now had to go on dad duty. He's got a sick little one, so Nathan's had to have an early bath and has left it with the rest of us. So we'll see Nathan in a couple of weeks' time. Right, let's continue what we were talking about there. I was having a little bit of I was just about to talk about the formations a little bit, Jim. What I've liked this year is that Nigel Clough has been a lot more fluid in the way that he's set things up. You know, last year you could see that we were trying to play either in one set way or another set way, depending on who we were playing against and who who we had available. We were doing that to a degree at the start of the season. I'm probably going to say up to maybe the Stockport game, where we were either playing a set back 5 or we were playing with a set back 4. What it tends to look like for me now is we're starting off with that with the wing back sort of system, going for almost like a 5-3-2. But then when we're on, it fluctuates between when we're on the ball and when we're off the ball. When we're on the ball and we're going forward, we settle into more of a back 4. Everybody sort of shuffles across a little bit more, and we settle into that back 4 depending on which side we're attacking down. And we end up sort of sitting in that 4-2-3-1, which served us so well, pre Tyler Roberts' injury. But when we're off the ball, we drop back into that back 5 and we become more of a defensive unit. And actually, since that Stockport game, that seems to be working really well for us. And I actually think it's bringing the best out of players like Nobby Welsh and Lewis Reed and a few others, because they've got that fluidity and the creativity to sort of move across a little bit. And like anything else, it just takes time to understand how we want to tick over, how we want to play, and how those players who are playing understand what Clough is trying to do, if that makes sense, Jim.
Yeah, I think if you listen to a lot of managers, they'll tell you formations, they're not really that important because players are moving around that much that it's a little bit, to say it's a set formation is a bit false, really. But, I mean, if you do believe in formations, I think it's good that it is flexible, because obviously that reflects to where we are squad-wise, who we're playing, who's in form, etc. And I think with the way we play, well, that's been highlighted by other managers, by the way, at other clubs who have lost their jobs because they've not been flexible, particularly in the Premier League. Ruben Amorim comes to mind. But anyway, this is a Mansfield podcast. And the way we play, I think when we're on the ball, it's just sort of, a lot of recycling the ball, passing, moving. And I think formations really are a bit sort of, I don't think there is a lot of formation sometimes on the ball. But I think it's good that we are flexible. And fair play to him. I think that's one of his strengths. And if you were coming up against Mansfield and you watched our last 6 games, you wouldn't know what was coming, would you?
It's like I've always said, Nick, isn't it? The one thing you can guarantee with Mansfield is it's Liam Roberts in goal and then 10 people outfield.
Yeah, we always say if there was a competition to pick the team, you'd be very few people would get it right. I think, to be fair to Nigel, a lot of that's been injury, hasn't it? Didn't we? He played like 5 or 6 games in a row, didn't we, with the same team earlier this year, which was the first time in his career, I think somebody had said. But it is nice that it's fluid, and I think the 5 at the back's worked in the games that we've played recently. I don't think it works all the time. I think at home sometimes it can be a bit turgid, but I think a lot of the time where it has been a bit turgid, we haven't had the likes of Oates to break us out of it a little bit, and we've been very, very one-dimensional. We've hoofed it up to Evans, and he, may as well have me up front in the air because that's not his game, is it? And we've sort of played to the opposition strengths a bit. Whereas when we've got Oates, I feel like sometimes we're not a one-man team by any stretch, but he's got a purpose, and we sort of know, we're very familiar how to play to Oates' game. And you take Oates out of it sometimes, and we're a bit, I don't know, it's like we don't really know how to play the ball up front, and we just lose it a little bit, and then it all becomes a bit turgid. But I like Jim said, I think the formation is a bit more fluid than it ever has been, and I think we seem to be the centre of seem a little bit more confident on the ball recently as well, which helps, and maybe that's the results. But maybe he'll change it. Maybe he'll change it to a 4 and then a 5. But when the team sheet comes out, I have no clue half the time what formation we're playing. Especially if they used to list them in order. They used to put it in team, and now they don't anymore. So it's like, well, Akins is there. Oh, is he a right back? And somebody behind me will say, "I know he's up front," and they go, "Yeah, but he could be right back, or it could be a 4-3-3 at right wing." Which again, like others have said, maybe that's the opposition scouts haven't got a clue what's going to hit them.
Always makes me laugh with Akins because I used to have this conversation once with someone who sat around me. They used to go, "Oh, he's definitely playing up front because he's not warming up with the defenders." Mate, Lucas Akins has never warmed up with the back 5 or 4,
No.
even if he's been playing out and out right back, centre back, whatever. He never warms up with the back 4 ever. So it's glorying to himself. I want to talk about Oates again for a minute, Clive, because I think as much as we sort of talk about his impact there and everything, I actually think what he's done really well in his time off, and I'm not talking his suspension, I'm talking his period of injury now, is he's actually learned a lot more about his game. He's adapted it to play and suit the formation we're playing. He drops a lot deeper. He reads the game a lot better now. He doesn't fly in at full pelt trying to close the keeper down and risk himself getting injured anymore. He's almost like he spent a lot of time analysing his own game and adapting it to suit what we do really well. And like Nick said there, having Oates in when we're playing 5 at the back gives us that outlet because he can drop a lot deeper and he's very comfortable at doing that as well.
Yeah, it's clear he's learning from his mistakes. He didn't know when to pull out of tackles before, and as a consequence, he hurt himself as well as other people. And that's got to be a painful lesson to learn. I think he's a bit more intelligent than he was, and that's true of most players who play. They become more intelligent the more opportunity they've got to exercise their skill. And I'm really pleased that he's come back after his long layoff, and he's a better player as a result of it. It took a while to get him up to match fitness, but he seems to be there now. And my only anxiety is we've become quite dependent on him, and then we need another resource, I think, in case, for whatever reason, he's not around.
Absolutely. Maybe the new boy today is that resource. We'll talk about that in a little while. Let's go to some of the comments that have been coming in. Please do keep them coming in and have your say on your team. Ross says other teams double mark Oates a lot, which frees up the other players. Dave says Porntash Lewis needs to get more goals in open play. Also start doing the business on free kicks. And Simon Jim says we forget this season has been a transition season with a lot of new young players that need time to settle into the club and formation. Fair point.
Yeah, I think even if they're not young players, even if they're established players, especially if they're moving from another part of the country and into a new team, it can take a long time for them to settle in. So to get the point tally we have and play some of the performances we have has been ahead of the curve where you'd expect it, really. I think a lot of people expect us to struggle a little bit before Christmas. And hopefully it should only get better as they get even more settled in. So, I think we're done okay. I think we're happy where we are.
Yeah, absolutely, certainly are. Keep your comments coming in. Have your say on your team. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about today's 2 new signings and look ahead to the FA Cup game as well. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because adverts matter.
Protect what matters most with Actifire Limited.
Your trusted local fire safety experts in Nottinghamshire. Proud sponsors of the Mansfield Matters Podcast. From fire extinguishers and alarms to emergency lighting, pat testing and risk assessments, they've got everything you need for your business to stay safe. Affordable, reliable, professional. Because when it comes to fire protection, there's no room for compromise. Call Actifire Limited today or visit actifire.co.uk. Be ready, be safe, act now. Actifire Limited, proud sponsors of the Mansfield Matters Podcast.
We're the Mansfield Matters crew, making podcasts just for you. Some show up, some disappear, but the Stags bring us all here. Through the ups and downs we stay, talking Mansfield Town every day.
You're back with the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because Mansfield always matters. Thanks so much for joining us on this Thursday evening. As ever, if you want to have your say on your team, you can do so in the live feed comments. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, then feel free to come and join us. Just follow us on social media to find out when we're next going to be live. Joining me tonight, Nick of Mansfield Town Shirts fame, Alan Wilson, Jim and Clive are on the show. Nathan was here earlier, but he's had to duck out to go and be daddy night nurse. Not for his kids, his missus just... No, anyway, let's move on. Right. Let's talk about the two new additions today then, shall we? First and foremost, let's start with the first one which came through the door. This is what the club posted earlier on. If you've not missed this, if you've missed this, you must have been living under a rock. But here we are to deliver you your news and talk all about it. It's just the service we offer. And hey, it's free. Mansfield Town are delighted to announce the signing of midfielder John Russell on loan from Barnsley until the end of the season. The Jamaican international, whose 5 goals in 17 appearances for his nation, began his career at Chelsea. The 25-year-old moved on loan to Accrington Stanley in October 2020, where he went on to make 25 appearances, scoring twice. John left the Blues for Huddersfield in 2021. The 6'4" box-to-box midfielder stayed at the Acu Stadium for 1.5 seasons before signing for Barnsley in January 2023 for an undisclosed fee. In his time at the Tykes, John received his first call-up to the Jamaican national team, and the Stags' new signing climbed off the bench against Mexico for his Reggae Boys debut in the CONCACAF Nations League encounter in March 2023. A lot of Barnsley fans, Nick, online, very, very angry that Barnsley have let him go and that we've managed to secure his signature.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that's normally a good indication, isn't it, of whether they're any good or not? Because we've all signed players before and everyone's gone, oh, good riddance. And you go, oh, dear, this one's not going to be great. But yeah, he seems all right. I don't recall seeing him play. I'm sure I probably did at Barnsley. But he scored a few important goals for them and they seem to think he was a good goal scorer. Obviously, he's more of a midfielder type player. I don't know if he's in the sort of Roberts mould, maybe in behind the striker, attacking midfielder, that sort of role. But we haven't got a lot of depth up there, have we? You take Oates out of it, and it's basically Evans is pretty much what we've got. So him and the fella from Tottenham with the strange surname, they both look like they're strengthening the right department. And I don't think you could argue really, other than maybe the centre of midfield a bit deeper. We're pretty much covered in a lot of the other areas, even with the injuries. We've seemed to have a couple of players for each position. We certainly didn't need any more defenders. So yeah, I think he's strengthening the right areas, and they don't seem like panic buys, do they? You know, sometimes January we panic and you go, oh dear, I don't know where they've got him from. These don't seem to me like panic buys. They seem a bit more thought out, and players who have played, or certainly one of them has played at this level before, and the other one's got, is it 7 in 17, I think, this season, the young lad from Spurs as well. So they both seem like good signings and what we need.
Jim, for me, I'm a bit 50-50 with this. I'm really delighted that he's played, but the reason that he signed, the reason I'm 50-50 is I'm worried about Tyler Roberts and potentially Regan Hendry and how long they're going to be absent for, because like Nick said there, is he more of an attacking midfielder or is he more of a defensive midfielder? For me, from the videos that I've seen of him and the descriptions that I've read online, etc., I feel like he is a attacking midfielder, that he's going to sort of sit in that 10 role, do a little bit similar to what DKD did, which would explain why he's not been playing so much at Barnsley. I don't think he'll come in and be that defensive sort of player for us. I think he'll sort of sit in that attacking role, which then I ask the question, how long is Tyler Roberts actually going to be out for? How long is Regan Hendry going to be out for?
Well, it's a good point, but I think it's just a factor of depth, isn't it? We've got depth pretty much everywhere else, apart from that kind of attacking area, and I think he's just adding to the depth of the squad. I'm sure those players will come back. They're both Hendry and Roberts are scheduled to come back, aren't they, this month? So I think they'll be back, but now is proof that they can both get injured. So it's just giving you that little bit more depth, so you're not left struggling. So I think they'll be back. It's just a depth thing, I think, and as the squad becomes more accomplished, I think.
And of course, he was the first of 2 players that arrived yesterday, but were announced today. The second one is a youngster on loan from Tottenham Hotspur. And again, the club article read as follows. Mansfield Town are delighted to announce the signing of forward Oliver Iro on loan from Tottenham Hotspur until the end of the season. The 19-year-old joins the club with a strong reputation as an exciting attacking prospect. Oliver has 7 goals in 17 games for Spurs' under-21s this season, scoring in Premier League 2, the UEFA Youth League, and in the Virtue Trophy. At international level, the youngsters represented England at both under-16 and under-17 levels. So whilst he doesn't, Clive, have Football League experience to his name as yet, he seems very highly rated and a very exciting prospect for us as well. What do you make of him?
Well, I've never heard of him, obviously, and I therefore can't qualify whether he's any good or not. One assumes that our backroom team have been keeping an eye on these players, and it's in everybody's interest for a young player at a big club to go out and get some real football under their belt. Mansfield is obviously thought well enough of to be a suitable place for these players to go. They either come and develop his game and become better for it, or he'll reach a level which the parent club are quite happy to let him see him go. Either way, we can't really lose. If we can get 20 games out of him this year, his career will develop as a result of that. You may go back, you may stay. But any time you loan a player, there's always that danger that you become attached to them and then you can't keep them. I worry about McDonnell for that same reason. But I think the lad's got what he seems to have is youth and energy. And that's something, as we've been saying for 3 years, isn't it? The team needs more youth and energy.
Yeah, it certainly does, Alan. And I think listening to what Nigel Clough has to say, he seems like he's going to be, up there in that strikers group. A little bit of support for Reece Oates, maybe interchanging games with him at times. Bit of support for Will Evans as well. I think it's a win-win for us, really. We've got a hungry young lad who, like we were sort of saying before we went on air tonight as well, speaks very well and seems very excited and keen to get his head down and really make a name for himself now that he's got a window of opportunity to smash his way through.
Yeah, and it's like I've been saying for quite a few months now. I thought Luke Bolton was going to be the missing piece of the jigsaw, but that hasn't happened yet. It possibly will later, when he gets fully fit again. But he looks, I'd like to see him on the wing because he says he's, not frightened of taking a man on, beating a man, scoring goals. And that's exactly what we've missed. And he might be good foil for people like Evans and such as that, even Dwyer. If he can get on for the last 10 minutes, it might help his game out. But it's very exciting to see somebody like that. And reverting back to Russell, didn't he score 11 goals last year? I do believe I read somewhere where he got 11 goals. So I mean,
11 goal contributions or something like that. Yeah, either way.
It's all, all plus factors, isn't it? Ticking the boxes all the time, which is can only be good.
Yeah, it certainly can. Nick, what Alan mentioned Dom Dwyer there. I actually think that the arrival of Oliver row your boat ashore has definitely bumped Mr. Dwyer further out into the ocean of the abyss of Mansfield Town under Nigel Clough.
I don't think that name's going to catch on. You've had some good ones in the past, but row your boat. I'm not sure that's going to. It might. It might. But I'm sticking my oar in and saying it probably won't. Sorry. No, I think you're right. I thought he was going to be an unbelievable signing for us. He played well at the end of last year, scored some goals, and then it's just fizzled out. He played that game at Harrogate, which seemed to have killed his career completely. He's come on a couple of times since then, hasn't he? But yeah, I would agree. I think it probably does push him down even further. And to be fair, would it surprise me if he left? Not really. I know he's got a contract, but I'm pretty certain he doesn't want to sit and play 5 minutes here and there. So would I be disappointed if he left? Probably not. He hasn't played enough, has he? So if we got these two in and Dwight went out, it wouldn't bother me, I don't think.
Hi, I'm Oliver. Hi, Oliver. Do you swim? No, I row.
I should give it up.
Alan laughed, so there you go. Jim, Simon in the comments says, Ollie seems a replacement for Gardner. Good luck to the lad. Came across really well in the interview. We shall see. Gardner's a funny one, isn't it? Because he's got the real potential to be a real good key hitter for us. But again, these headaches and whatever is happening to him off the pitch seems to have really hampered him. And the other thing would be as well to look into how many lone players you can actually have in your match day squad. I know you can have a certain number in your squad overall, but I believe there's a limit on how many you can actually play in your match day squad.
5.
Yeah, five in your match day squad.
And we've got now 7, haven't we?
So, as the way I understand it, you can have as many loanees as you want, but it's 5 in any one match day squad. Yeah, I was talking to work about that.
You can only have 4 from one particular team.
Yeah. The prognosis on Gardner, whoever he's playing for, is a little bit sketchy, isn't it? It's not just a simple sprained ankle or whatever. It's just a bit concerning for him. But I think he's still part of the plans. You know, I think he's still involved if he's good to go. Again, it's just having depth, isn't it? And I think we'll see him again. He's a good player, and I think Iro, or whatever his name is, I agree, pushes Dwyer further down the pecking order. And I think it didn't Clough say there's another forward he's chasing as well.
Yeah, if he can get him in.
So if that comes off, I think Dwyer's sort of 5th choice, something like that. But I don't want to make this have a dig at Dwyer show, but I just think it's just not worked out for him this season. He was a victim of the system originally, and I think he's just so out of form. We've got no rhythm or confidence. As a consequence, he's just well down the order. But no, I think all these people will play a part because there's still a lot of games to play. And like you said before, we'll be playing Tuesday, Saturday for pretty much the rest of the season. So you'll see all these characters, I think, at some point during the season. Oh, and I've got a good nickname for Iro. So, has anyone seen The Only Way Is Essex? I'm guessing they probably haven't. Perhaps some of our viewers have.
I'd never admit to it.
It looks like Arge.
And that is what Jim deserves for talking about The Only Way Is Essex on this podcast. Jim, that's disgraceful. That's a straight red. The Only Way Is Essex, really?
Yeah, sorry guys.
You brought up one of wow.
I just caught 10 minutes of it, but he looks like one of the characters out
there. Caught 10 minutes of it, did you?
But maybe 11. But he looks like Arge.
We'll just take your word for it.
Okay, what was that, Mrs. Wilson?
She says nothing. She's laughing.
Oh dear! Jim has foxed me. I did not have Jim down as a man who would actively catch 10 minutes. Sorry, 11.
11.
Of The Only Way Is Essex.
Yeah, everybody channel surfs every now and again, don't they? You know.
Keep going. Before you get to that, you keep going.
You do not stick around for 11 minutes to see if it's all right, Jim. Are you okay? Do we need to stage an intervention? Are you okay?
I think so. I've stopped rocking, but I think I'm all right.
Oh dear!
Is that the first mention of The Only Way Is Essex in the history of the Mansfield Matters podcast? It's got to be.
I bet it is. Yeah.
It can't have come
before. It's the only one.
Clive.
Jim, I'm not only am I surprised, I'm sorry for you. I really am. Poor
if you'd won that
to resort to watching programs like that.
It's got all you lot talking about it, so it might actually stick.
I guarantee
Jim,
I will not be calling Ollie Row you boat Arge.
Okay.
Have you seen? I've just googled a picture of this Arge fella. That does not look like a professional footballer, son.
Right, yeah.
Well, it did to Jim in that 11 minutes.
Yeah, in that 11 minutes. Yeah.
Can we change the subject, lads?
11 minutes. Oh, dear. Right. Yes, Clive, we can, because we will not be talking about Love Island next. Absolutely not, Simon. We will not. Clive, let's talk about transfers, because... Nigel Clough did hint that he's going to potentially bring one more in, which would be a forward player. I don't think we particularly need to strengthen anywhere else. I'd maybe like to see us get another midfielder, defensive style midfielder, but I think we've got enough to mix it about and be all right. The only place I would like to see us strengthen potentially in terms of a backup option, a backup option, would be at right back. Obviously, Kyle Noyle at the moment in the treatment room. We know what Elliot Hewitt is like. Lucas Akins, God bless him, will fill a gap. Little Nobby Welsh can sort of do it. But I'd like to see us maybe get someone with a little bit more experience in that right back area. A right back who can also play right side centre half. But then again, saying that, I'm forgetting we've got the best footballer on the planet in Jordan Bowery still to come back. So maybe we are all right there.
Well, Clough seems to think we're all right. and obviously it's ultimately his call. I think you're right, though, Craig. What you said earlier in your conversation is that it would be nice to have another option up front, and maybe just a pure, unadulterated striker is what we need to keep everybody else on their pins.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
what about this guy who's at Millwall, ex-Notts County bloke? He's supposed to be sniffing around, isn't he?
He's played the last few matches and he's been scoring. So I don't think he'll be coming.
Well, as soon as he gets injured, we'll have him.
Are you doing a jigsaw, Clive? You look like you're doing a jigsaw.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Are you doing a jigsaw?
Whoa, I got a second. I haven't got a yellow piece of card to close to me to hold up a yellow card, but here's an orange card. Talking about rumours. What have I told you about talking about rumours? It's worse than talking about Love Island.
Is it?
Clive.
What about Love Island rumours? Is that even worse?
I don't know about anyone else, but I need to go back to the Villa.
What we do need, though, is a striker who can hold the ball up, don't we? A big lump, a big target man. I think we are missing that out of the squad.
I mean, maybe we've just signed one if you're calling this other guy Arge. I've Googled him.
I don't. He's not a big lad, though, is he? I think he's more of a sort of quick, sort of channel running striker. He's not a big sort of target man type. I think we're missing that since Gregory's gone.
Yeah, we certainly are. Right, let's move on and get back to sort of some form of normality, shall we then? It's yes. Stop, Alan. You seem to know what that reference means. So I've got a straight question for you. Have you been watching Love Island?
I've seen it before, yes.
Oh, Alan.
Dreadful.
It's gone. You've lost him now.
I just had to laugh when Maria Wilson got to text. That was quite funny.
None of us know what that means, Alan. I don't know what
you?
That means. Is that on Love Island?
Yes. Anyway, move on.
We ain't got time for that. Things like that.
Hang on. Sorry, I've got a text. It says play the podcast predictions jingle.
The game of the luck, who gives up, don't mess it up. I hear you say, how do you play? Win, lose or draw, then pick a score and one more thing. Pick a hero, don't score zero, that's the game. But we're not fools, this game has rules. It gets on time, you'll be fine, remember the rhyme. Best predictions. Best predictions. Remember the rhyme. Guess on time, you'll be fine. Remember the rhyme. Best predictions.
Never been so disappointed in two of my friends in my entire life. Right, let's talk podcast predictions then, shall we? Obviously, we don't do predictions for cup games, so this is just a quick scan over the results from New Year's Day. Triple points were on offer, and only one person predicted a 3-0 win and also managed to secure the best pick of the players as well. That person was Stag's Chat, whose pick of Reece Oates helped them to net a massive 90 points, because it was triple points, obviously, for that particular game. That was 27 points more than anybody else. Current top three, Olivia Wilson is in third place with 250 points. Chris Vincent in second with 256, and still way ahead in the league, Matt Piercy on 269. In terms of the Mansfield Matters League, Jim, I'm deducting you 215 points for watching 11 minutes of The Only Way is Essex. So that puts you on 1 point. Do the maths to figure out what points you're on. Clive, you're in second place with 220, and I am currently in the lead with 241 points. A reminder, we don't do predictions for the cup games. It's league games only, and today's two new signings have now been added to your pick of fantasy players. Right, as we haven't got podcast predictions to predict for Sheffield United, we will however, talk a little bit about that FA Cup game. It should be an entertaining encounter, Mr. Jigsaw Man, because we have all of our pieces together to form a lovely little jigsaw behind that goal, and that is a sold-out away end.
Yeah. And I don't think they're as excited about the game as we are. So I think we'll probably make ourselves very well heard there. And they've only got one song in Sheffield anyway. That's that Greasy Chip Butty song. So we'll be fine. But we're all together in the lower tier, I understand. I mean, that's fine. But I would have preferred to be in the upper tier. But when you send Alan to get the tickets, so this is what you get. So I'll be sat behind a post, no doubt.
Well, clearly Alan was too busy watching Love Island to go and get tickets at an appropriate time. So there you go. Alan, defend yourself. It should be a decent encounter, shouldn't it? Turn it back to normality for us. Obviously, the last time we played them was in the Carabao Cup. Nigel Clough, incidentally, was in the dugout for Sheffield United that day. We were in League 2. They were in League 1. A close game. It finished 2-1 to the Blades. And to be honest, it could be another close game on Sunday as well. 2:30 kickoff, remember?
Yeah, I think it would have been a different team if he had played last week. Like us, we didn't play last week. He didn't play either. So I think he's going to put a stronger team out against us, to be honest. But I'm looking forward to it immensely. Can't wait.
Nick, it should be a decent one in terms of our crowd. Obviously, like we say, we've sold out, so we'll make some noise. They will take a fair few, and obviously with the Clough connections, this should make for a nice little encounter all round, shouldn't it?
It should do. I have noticed, if you look at Clive and imagine him DJing, it actually, because you can't see his arms, it looks like he's mixing on a massive turntable. So if anyone can edit, I'd quite like to see that. It should be a good game. Hang on,
let me put. I'm going to put in full screen so someone can record it and make a meme out of it.
You were perfect before. You were perfect before. You were looking down. Your arms were moving left to right. You could have been, a senior Avicii. It should be a good game. I think they're going to come out, like Alan said. I think it'll be a strong team. They've hit a bit of form, haven't they? If they'd have played them at the start of the season, they were woeful, but they've come into a bit of form. They're very good at home. Clough connection. I think it'd be a good game. I've never been there before. I didn't go years ago when we played them in the League Cup. I'm expecting them to beat us, I would have thought, but you never know. It's Mansfield, isn't it? If you'd have asked me at every single minute of that Bolton game, were we going to win? I'd have said no, 94 times. So, what do I know? But it'll be a good game, I think. And if we can get through, even better.
Yeah, I think we've got a decent-ish chance, Jim, of maybe sneaking through. I think the main thing is to try and get through it unscathed and give ourselves that positive momentum, which we clearly didn't have last year when you look at the Wigan game and the subsequent results after that.
Yeah, trying to put yourself in the minds of both teams. I think Sheffield United will expect to win, and they're at home, and so you can imagine them being front foot with a high line, quite attacking. And I think that'll play into our hands. With Oates in the form he's in, and there'll be every one of our players will be on all cylinders, nothing to lose. Lovely being the underdog, and I think we can rattle him. I think there's a good chance we'll get 1 or 2 or 3 good chances and score. And who knows, especially if we get the first goal. And obviously they'll have a good bench, I'm sure, and they'll have things up the sleeve. But I think if we can score first, even go 2-0 up, which is not impossible, then it could be a really good afternoon. I'm looking forward to it, yeah.
Certainly are. And Alan Wilson is also joining the Mansfield Matters away travel group for Sheffield United. The last time that Alan Wilson joined the away travel, Nick, what happened?
The last time Alan joined us, was that Rotherham?
It might have been. No, it can't. No, it was one after that. There was one after that, wasn't there?
Who was the one after that?
Bradford away, wasn't it?
I'll give you a little handy reminder, shall I? Alan, where's you been? Alan, where's you been? Alan, where is your babe? Alan, where's you been? Alan, where's you been? Alan, where is your babe? Alan, where's you been? Alan, where's you been? Alan, where is your babe? Alan, where's you been? Alan, where's you been? Alan, where Of course, it was when we went to Birmingham and Alan Wilson was on a one-man crusade to
Of course
clean
it
up
was.
all of Birmingham's rubbish. And since retirement, he has been on a one-man crusade to take his imaginary bin to football stadiums up and down the country. And each week we have to guess what they are. He's going to give us 5 clues. We all have a guess after each round as to what that club may be. If we get it after the first clue, that's 5 points. After the second, it's 4, and so on, and so on, and so on. Alan Wilson, over to you to figure out where's you been.
Right. Question number 1. For this team, 3 ex-Stags players have managed that club.
Okay. Who do you want to guess first, Alan? You can pick.
Well, start with yourself and go along top line and bottom. So it's you, Nick, Clive, Jim.
I'll go Barnsley.
No. Nick?
Notts County.
No. Clive?
Port Vale.
No. Jim?
Bristol Rovers.
No. Question number 2 for 4 points. In 1994, this team moved ground to where they play today, and they actually lost on the last game. They lost 1-0 to Mansfield Town. That was in 1994.
I'll
Any
go.
ideas, Craig?
I've written down Coventry. I'm not confident.
No.
Huddersfield.
Matt Pearce is wrong. No. Clive?
Scunthorpe United.
No, he's busy doing a jigsaw. Jim?
It's Doncaster Rovers.
No. Right, question 3. Have you all got pens and paper?
No.
No.
Because it's an anagram
Oh, not an anagram.
of the actual ground. And the
Oh,
anagram is Thistle Dicks.
I beg your pardon.
Thistle Dicks. FISLEL.
Hang
Thistle.
on. Can
Yeah.
you spell that again, please?
FISSEL. Thistle. And
Yeah.
Dicks. DIX.
Didn't you have an ointment cream for that, Clive, once? Fizzled it.
Is that the anagram of the name of the ground?
Yes.
The
That
current
is
ground.
correct.
I know it is. I've got it.
Oh,
Right, well, keep that to yourself if you've got it. What about Nick?
Oh, I've got Fizzle Dicks.
Clive?
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Thistledix United.
Jim?
What a cock.
No.
Well, it's up to you then for 3 points, Craig.
The answer, and I'm going to embarrass myself if I get this wrong here, is Northampton Town.
Correct.
Get in
Oh,
there.
come on.
Sixfields.
Well
I don't
done.
think of anything with X
Oh,
in
eh?
it.
That is correct.
That's I got 6, and then I was like, what grounds?
Yeah.
And I was like, Sixfields.
Did
So
you
there you
get
go.
did you get any of the ex-Stags players?
I will say Colin Calderwood. We
Correct.
Lady Boothroyd?
Technically,
Correct.
and
Keith Curl.
Keith Curl.
Correct. Yeah. My next clue was the Sundays manager who we're playing also managed them. Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
He made them famous, didn't he?
Damn it. What was
Yeah, well
the
done,
last
Craig.
clue? What was
Three
the last
go.
clue?
The last clue, the nickname the Cobblers.
Oh, they got that. Oh, they got that.
There you go. Happy
Well,
days.
Craig got 3 points. Well done, Craig.
That puts me in the lead. That puts me on 7 points now, and Nick will be in second place on 4. Jim on 2. Right.
Yeah, well done.
It's good to keep you here every week.
Clive's
Well,
Clive's got no intention of playing.
well, if you think he's disappointed now, guess what happens now?
Content loading. Selecting game. Game selected. Players stand by. What's in Craig's bucket?
Listen, if Jim and Alan can make me talk about Love Island and The Only Way is Essex, I can subject you to a game of What's in Craig's bucket. You've got 3 questions each. I can only answer yes, no, or maybe. I'll give you a little bit of a handy tip along the way. And all you've got to do is guess the item in my bucket. The order will be as follows: Nick, Alan, Jim, and the man who literally could not care less, Clive.
DJ Clive.
DJ Clive on the decks.
Jigsaw Clive.
Yes.
DJ McParsnip.
There we go. Right.
Oh, God.
Go on. 3 questions each. We'll start with Nick. Let's try and figure out. And remember, you can't guess in these 3 questions. You have to guess at the end. Let's try and figure out then what's in Craig's bucket.
Is it an item that you wear?
No.
Is it edible?
No.
Is it electronic?
No.
Is it bigger than a Volkswagen?
Absolutely not.
Where did you find him? Where did we find Clive? Is it considered an item of stationery?
Yes.
Of course it is.
Is it singular, or can you buy it in a pack?
Oh, okay. The item in my bucket is singular, and you can buy it singular. However, sometimes you would buy a pack of something where this item would come along with some other associated items.
Right. Okay.
Good question, Alan, that one.
Is it metal?
No. You can get metal ones, but no. Mr. Jigsaw.
I'm thinking.
Isn't that the fella in the Saw films, Mr. Jigsaw?
Would it be harmful to me if I swallowed it?
Yes. And back in your day, you might have had one thrown at you a time or two. Nick.
In a weird way, is it something linked to a purchase that was football related?
Yes.
Ooh.
I know where Nick's gone with it. I think Nick's got it.
Well,
Yeah,
I thought I had when you just said that to Clive, but could it be something from your school days?
Not my school days, but
No.
you would see it in school. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah, I think I've got it, but
Does it?
Me?
Jim.
Yeah. Can you draw a straight line with it?
You couldn't draw a straight line with it, but Clive.
Would it help me if I was drowning?
What do you think? It's the RNLI? What are they doing? What are they doing there?
Sorry, I'm just having a quick look. No, I can't see a lifeguard in my bucket.
It's Helen from the RNLI.
She just lives in there, yeah.
with the
At
bag.
the Boston branch.
Oh dear, right. I
You
think
see, you threw me when you said in my day somebody might have thrown it at me.
What? A lifeboat?
A life
Oh
belt.
dear. Well, I think
Where did
two
you
of
go?
you-
Where did you go to school at sea?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think you've got two of you might have got it. So I'm going to ask you each in turn. What is in Craig's bucket, Nick? What's in Craig's bucket?
I think it is a board rubber that came or you bought as an accessory to your tactics blackboard.
Alan,
I would agree with that.
Jim,
Board rubber.
A ruler.
Clive.
I think it's a set square.
I can tell you.
It's a 2023 Volkswagen Golf.
Volkswagen Polo.
With Alan in it.
It's a Austin Ambassador Y-Reg.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The correct answer to what is in Craig's bucket is indeed a board eraser.
Yeah.
I knew that. Oh,
I got it when you said you had one lobbed
Right.
at you.
So,
Yeah.
Jim, technically, you could erase a straight line with it.
Clive went straight to life jacket from threw it at him. Why
Well-
did you go straight to life jacket?
when I was at school, we used to do canoeing. And if you fell out your canoe, you were expected to get back in under your own volition. And as a novice canoeist, that's the hardest thing to do. So there used to be a guy on a boat and he used to throw a life ring, like a, what do they call them? Like a big polo ring.
Life ring.
How would that have fit in his bucket? What would he have done?
I can't
Deflated it?
see his bucket.
You've been to his house, you've seen the bucket. Is he upgraded his bucket to like one of those bins that people have fired?
I think you guys are
bin.
overthinking this.
It's one of those biffer bins now that he's got. Alan managed to get him one before he retired. He's wheeled it upstairs.
Merry Christmas, here's a bit for bin.
Can I just volunteer this opinion? I think you're all taking it far too seriously.
Well, there's points at stake.
I don't know.
I'm so looking forward to Sunday.
Oh,
I'm
dear.
going to bring some headache tablets for me because I'm bound to have headache with laughing.
I've no idea where we're parking, by the way.
Oh, dear.
You think so with your surname? You should do, really, shouldn't
You
you?
should know, shouldn't you? Oh, there you go.
My son's going in, he's parking at the interchange at Meadowhall and catching the train into town centre. Not a bad call. I don't think we'll do that.
I'm sure we'll discuss it in a much less public and less live forum than this, to be honest.
I've not seen a lot of life in this forum, to be honest. But
What can we just ask, by the way? What is the jigsaw? Because it's kept moving.
It's a picture of Bagman fans.
Oh, that's
No
why
one
you're doing
realised
it.
the life.
That's
No
why
one
you're thinking about life jackets. You've just done one.
It's got a
There's one
canoe.
there. There's one there on the side of the river. That's why you're thinking of life jackets. There's one there.
Oh,
You're all
dear.
at sea.
anyway,
aren't you?
listen, I didn't sit down to do the jigsaw puzzle, but I've put my laptop on the table where the jigsaw puzzle is. And whilst I'm listening to you guys, I can multitask.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
2 birds with one
Yeah.
stone.
Is that what happened in
stones,
Love
one
Island?
bird.
Hang on, 2 birds with 1 stone, Alan. Is that what happened in Love Island, or is that what happened on The Only Way Is Essex, Jim?
Oh.
I only watched
We'll have
11
to
minutes,
watch-
mate. I don't,
We're gonna have to watch it tonight, aren't we? We're gonna have to watch the omnibus.
I would rather gouge my eyes out with a rusty spoon
Get
live on this
yourself-
podcast.
Get yourself on Traitors.
Absolutely not. Right, I don't know who I'm more disappointed in tonight. I don't know whether it's Clive for guessing that I've got a rubber ring in my bucket. I don't know whether it's Alan for watching Traitors and Love Island. Or I don't know whether it's Jim, because it's Jim's fault that this whole conversation about reality TV shows started because he compared our new signing to a fat bloke from Essex.
It was all going swimmingly till he opened his mouth, wasn't it?
Oh. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Jim, what have you got to say for yourself?
I didn't think it would spark this much furore, but it has.
10 minutes you'd go away with. It's that 11 minutes.
It's
Yeah.
that extra minute, Jim, that's what's done you. Because we all know in the way that TV works, that's at least 2 parts of the show, isn't it, with adverts in between? You've not clicked over for the break, have you?
Well, I think I put it on pause. I think that was 4 of the 11 minutes when I put it on pause.
Craig, I'd just like to say how much I've enjoyed tonight's podcast. But as I'm essentially an honest person, I can't possibly do that.
Finish your sentence then.
That was it.
Oh, dear. Honestly.
Listen, Mary Wilson's worried about me. She says, "What have you done with the real Clive?" I don't know what she means by that.
As Nick and I can testify on away games, this is the real Clive.
This is a window through the keyhole into the real Clive Barker.
Now that is a TV
That was
show
a
that I would
programme.
watch.
That was
a
That
programme.
is a program I'd watch.
Let's have a look through Clive's keyhole.
No.
I don't think
No.
Keyhole Surgery with Clive Parker is a show that we want to watch. And with that, I need to do this. Thank you for watching, and I'm so sorry. Sadly, that's all we've got time for on tonight's Mansfield Matters podcast. My thanks to every single member of the podcast panel, apart from one, who joined us tonight. It's been a rare one to get as many of us together as we actually did. And of course, more importantly, my thanks to you guys at home for watching and for listening as well. A reminder that there's no podcast predictions this weekend as we don't do FA Cup games. But you can get your predictions in for the rest of January's fixtures if you wish to do so. And today's 2 new signings at the time of recording have been added to the podcast predictions player captain thingy-majiggy as well. Right, I'm off to have a little lie down. We will see you next week. Stay tuned to our social media to find out when that's going to be, as we continue to follow the second half of the season as the journey continues. This is the show for the fans, by the fans. This is the Mansfield Matters podcast. Good night. Just to add at the end as well, if there was ever proof that I pre-record the intro and the outro, that's it, because I would have made numerous references to Jim watching The Only Way is Essex, Alan watching Love Island, and Clive doing a jigsaw. I'm off to find the missing piece of my brain. Good night.
No sound.
Protect what matters most with Actifier Limited, your trusted local fire safety experts in Nottinghamshire. Proud sponsors of the Mansfield Matters podcast. From fire extinguishers and alarms to emergency lighting, pat testing and risk assessments, they've got everything you need for your business to stay safe. Affordable, reliable, professional. Because when it comes to fire protection, there's no room for compromise. Call Actifier Limited today or visit actifier.co.uk. Be ready, be safe, act now. Actifier Limited, proud sponsors of the Mansfield Matters podcast.